Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive. In a world that often feels like it's accelerating at warp speed, with AI-driven schedules, a constant stream of notifications, and just this unending to-do list, finding true balance and purpose could feel like an elusive quest. Today, we're making a fascinating journey into ancient wisdom that offers a, surprisingly powerful blueprint for navigating our very modern chaos. Before we plunge in, though, a quick but really important note. If you're hungry for more incredible insights and knowledge like what we're about to share, you absolutely have to visit Mind Expansion Daily. It's just an incredible source of information, honestly, and it's where we get so many of our deep dive ideas. While you're there, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It truly helps us reach more curious minds around the globe. Seriously, that's a huge difference. And look, if you appreciate the deep dives we bring you, maybe consider buying us a coffee. That link is right there in the description. Every little bit helps us keep going.
Okay, so today our mission is to unpack a week-long journey into the timeless Shaolin principles, mindfulness, perseverance, and respect, and explore how they can actually ground us in our, let's face it, pretty frenetic world. After listening to our summary, we'd love for you to leave a comment. Do you agree or disagree with our insights? We really want to know what you think. We're also trying to increase our global reach, so please, if you can, list your location in the comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from.
It's really remarkable, isn't it, how these 1,500-year-old tenets forged way back in China's Hainan province have this almost uncanny relevance to the struggles we face today. Our dive today draws heavily from Living the Shaolin Way, a week-long journey to balance and purpose, which details this really compelling personal challenge someone took on to weave these principles into their daily routines, specifically to combat stress, boost focus, and, find a clearer sense of purpose.
Okay, so let's start right at the beginning then. Where do these profound Shaolin principles even come from, and what exactly makes them so powerful, even for us here in 2025?
Well, the story kicks off with the Shaolin Temple, founded way back in 495 CE. It wasn't just a building, it became the birthplace of a whole philosophy that grew far beyond its martial arts roots. The monks there, they masterfully blended martial prowess with the profound clarity of Zen Buddhism. They evolved into this real beacon of resilience, especially by the Tang dynasty. These ancient teachings, often written down in texts like the Shaolin Sutras, they really offer a lifeline for our super distracted age. I mean, think about it. A 2025 APA survey found a staggering 70% of Americans dealing with chronic stress.
Wow, 70%.
Yeah. It's clear that while the world changes dramatically, some fundamental human challenges, they just stay constant.
That stress statistic really hits home. It definitely sounds like something many of us are, desperately craving right now.
Yeah.
So what are these core tenets, and why do they offer such profound potential for impact?
You're right. The potential impact can be huge. The Shaolin philosophy basically boils down to three foundational pillars: mindfulness, perseverance, and respect. Let's maybe break each one down a bit.
Okay, sounds good.
First up, mindfulness. And this isn't just about, that fluffy meditation hype you sometimes hear about. It's about a really laser-focused, intentional presence. Think of the monks using it to block out overwhelming chaos during combat, achieving this state of hyper-awareness right in the moment.
So like intense focus under pressure.
Exactly. And today, the echoes of this practice are everywhere. Mindfulness apps like Headspace, used by over 80 million people globally. And look, this isn't just a trend. There's solid science here. A 2025 NIH study, for instance, backed this up. It showed mindfulness can cut anxiety by a significant 30% in just 8 weeks.
30% in 8 weeks? That's pretty substantial.
It is. It's about consciously anchoring yourself, your full attention right here in the present moment, rather than letting your mind just, wander off.
Got it. So active presence. What's next?
Then we have perseverance. This is the raw grit, that unwavering commitment to push through pain, whether it's intense physical stuff or profound mental fatigue. Shaolin monks endured really grueling training regimes, pushing their bodies and minds to the absolute limits, not just physically, but spiritually, too.
I've heard stories about their training.
Yeah.
Seems almost superhuman.
Well, it builds incredible resilience. A 2024 Stanford study actually found that this kind of persistent, focused effort can boost task completion by 40%, even under significant stress.
40%.
Yeah, it's that commitment to keep going strategically when things get incredibly tough,
Right.
rather than just throwing in the towel.
Okay, so mindfulness, perseverance. What's the third pillar?
And finally, respect. This third pillar demands a deep sense of humility, both toward yourself and toward others. It fosters this genuine sense of compassion and interconnectedness. It's not just politeness, it's a profound appreciation for the shared human experience, really.
Mhm.
In fact, a 2025 Gallup poll revealed that 65% of respondents felt society actively lacked this very compassion.
That's kind of sad,
Yeah.
actually, but not surprising.
Exactly. So it's not just a nice to have, it's a crucial, almost foundational element for truly harmonious existence, both within ourselves and, with the world around us.
Okay, so mindfulness, perseverance, and respect. What's really compelling here, for me anyway, is that these aren't just abstract ideas from dusty old texts. The Shaolin monks live them every single day. Like you said, rising at 4 a.m., training for hours, meditating. They cultivated this profound harmony that, honestly, our 2025 burnout culture desperately craves. But can this 1,500-year-old wisdom really stand up to modern life? I mean, that's the real question.
That is the question. And this deep dive looks at someone who actually applied these principles daily, from their work life to their workouts, to track that very shift.
Okay, let's follow this week-long journey then. Let's really see how these ancient principles held up against the relentless modern grind. This sounds like the ultimate test of their practical power.
Absolutely. The author of our source material, they dove headfirst into applying these principles, meticulously documenting their experience, and it offers some really fascinating insights for us.
Okay, day one. It sounds incredibly relatable. Waking up to a blur of scrolling social media, gulping coffee, guilty as charged sometimes. What did the author find? How did Shaolin mindfulness change that morning?
Well, it demanded immediate presence, a conscious break from that autopilot mode most of us are in. The author started with a simple but profoundly effective 10-minute meditation, just focusing intensely on counting breaths.
The breath counting thing. Monks use that.
Yeah, it's a fundamental technique monks use to sharpen their focus before, say, intense sparring or complex forms. At work, they consciously silence notifications, a small but powerful act, and tackled emails one by one, giving each task their full, undivided attention.
The single tasking dream.
Exactly. And the result wasn't just speed, it was this profound shift in their mental state. The author described feeling a sense of calm control, which is, let's be honest, a rare thing in a typical workday. They weren't just getting tasks done, they were doing them with a focused intensity that cut out the second-guessing and rework, leading to that incredible efficiency, finishing a report in half the usual time.
Wow. Half the time feeling calm. Okay, sign me up. My morning ritual usually involves less breath counting and more aggressively hitting the snooze button. That's a stark contrast. So after the relative calm of day one, day two throws a wrench in the works, a looming deadline, that familiar spike of stress. How did mindfulness work when the pressure really hit?
Right, that's where the deeper application came in. Shaolin mindfulness meant observing those surging thoughts and anxious feelings without judgment, visualizing stress not as this overwhelming force, but maybe like a passing cloud.
A Zen trick, you said.
Yeah, a classic Zen technique to detach from those immediate emotional reactions. Instead of spiraling into panic, they calmly drafted a plan to catch up. Their heart rate, surprisingly, stayed pretty steady through the whole thing. And you see this resonance today, X posts on mindfulness surged 20% in 2025. People are looking for this presence.
So the takeaway is presence isn't passive.
Exactly. It's an active power. It allows you to control your internal state even when the external world is chaotic. It's like being the eye of the storm.
Okay, moving on to perseverance. This is about raw grit, right? We hear tales of monks carrying water buckets up, 1,000 temple steps, just to build that willpower. How did this person apply that kind of grit to something like a tight hamstring on a 5K run?
Yeah.
When your body's just yelling, stop.
Yeah, great question. Instead of quitting, they used a classic Shaolin tactic. Breaking the run into manageable 1K segments, focusing intensely on each individual step.
Chunking it down.
Precisely. It's a monk's trick for enduring long forms or really tough tasks. You don't try to tackle the whole mountain at once, you just conquer one step at a time. There was even a 2024 Journal of Sports Psychology study confirming this, that segmenting tasks can boost endurance by 25%.
Interesting.
So the author finished the run. Sore, yes, but triumphant. They'd proven their mental strength over physical discomfort. It wasn't just about finishing, it was about that feeling of self-mastery.
That's a brilliant way to reframe a challenge. But what about a more common modern problem, like a work crisis? Say a project pitch completely tanked.
Yeah.
That's definitely a moment where grit gets tested.
Oh, absolutely. The instinct naturally was probably to sulk, right? Feel totally defeated. But that Shaolin grit demanded action, immediate, decisive action. So the author revisited the feedback with a critical, kind of detached eye, reworked the slides overnight with this renewed focus, and then boldly repitched. And the client, impressed by the quick turnaround and the much improved presentation, approved it. It kind of echoes that monk's tale of rebuilding a burned temple stone by stone.
Right, not giving up on the big goal.
Exactly. Systematically tackling the problem piece by piece. Perseverance, they learned, isn't just blind stubbornness, it's strategic endurance. It's a muscle, really. And interestingly, 60% of 2025 LinkedIn users said they're actively training to hone that muscle amid all the economic uncertainty.
Strategic endurance. I like that. It's about getting knocked down and choosing to get back up, but smarter.
You got it.
Okay, now let's talk respect. The soul of Shaolin, you called it. We know monks would bow to opponents not from weakness, but strength, recognizing shared humanity. How did this principle play out in, say, a heated family argument? A situation where emotions run high and respect can be the first thing out the window.
Yeah, that was a powerful real-world test in the source material. The initial reflex naturally was to snap back, defend their position aggressively, but Shaolin respect meant deliberately listening first, truly hearing the other person's point of view, even when it was difficult.
Active listening.
Active listening, exactly. The author mirrored a monk's humility, asking clarifying questions instead of just jumping in to argue. There's that 2025 Harvard study noting active listening cuts conflict by 50%.
50%, that's huge.
It is. And through this approach, they found common ground. The tension just eased. It transformed a potential fight into a constructive dialogue, not by winning, but by genuinely understanding.
That's such a powerful lesson, something I know I could use more of. But what about respect turning inward? Like, after missing a workout goal, it's so easy to beat ourselves up then.
Definitely. And Shaolin teaches profound self-compassion, recognizing that treating yourself with kindness is just as vital as extending it to others. So the author chose to journal 3 things they did do well that day, rather than just dwelling on the missed goal, focusing on strengths and accomplishments. In this practice, it's known to boost self-esteem by about 35%, according to a 2024 Psychology Today report. You see this cultural shift too. Hashtag self-compassion posts hit 500,000 on X in 2025. So respect, they learned, is truly a two-way street. Honoring others and honoring yourself are both essential for harmony inside and out. It's about recognizing your own humanity, flaws and all.
So after these individual days focusing on each principle, what happens when you bring all 3? Mindfulness, perseverance, and respect together. Day 7 sounds like the ultimate integration test.
Indeed it was. The capstone of this week was actually inspired by a really powerful Shaolin legend, Shi Dikine. He was a young monk in the 20th century who, despite becoming blind from a training injury...
Blind? Wow.
Yes. He went on to master 72 different Shaolin arts. His secret, his enduring legacy, was his unwavering mindfulness for focus, his incredible perseverance through the pain, and his deep respect for his own physical limits. He embodied all 3.
That's incredible. So how did the author synthesize them on day 7?
Well, they consciously brought all 3 into play throughout the day. A focused morning meditation sharpened their presence for a crucial plant call that's mindfulness. Perseverance pushed them through a challenging 10K run, even though they were tired. And respect guided a difficult conversation with a coworker. They made a point of deliberately listening before offering any advice, seeking understanding first.
And the results, did it feel different?
It was subtle, but yes, a really significant shift. Their stress levels, measured by a smartwatch, actually dropped 15% from day 1's average heart rate. That's a real physiological change.
15% drop, that's noticeable.
Definitely. And work output rose considerably. They finished 20% more tasks, according to their planner. And relationships felt tangibly warmer. A friend even commented on their new calm vibe, picking up on that internal shift.
A calm vibe.
Yeah. And this lines up with broader research, too. A 2025 Mindfulness Journal study confirms daily mindfulness boosts productivity by 22% and emotional regulation by 30%. So the author didn't just do the principles, they started to become more aligned with them.
So listening to all this, it sounds like Shaolin isn't some mystical, unattainable thing, but a very practical method. Would you say it's more about rewiring chaos into clarity than, I don't know, achieving some spiritual nirvana?
Precisely. It's a method, a practical blueprint for rewiring chaos into clarity. It's not necessarily about reaching some ethereal state, but about tangible daily empowerment.
Yeah.
Building inner strength and calm, which then just ripples out into every area of your life.
Okay, but it couldn't have been totally smooth sailing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
modern life is relentless.
What were some of the biggest hurdles the author faced trying to stick with these ancient principles?
You're absolutely right. Applying Shaolin principles consistently wasn't seamless, and that's a really important part of the story. Modern distractions, the constant ping of social media, the expectation of 247 work emails, they constantly clashed with the author's attempts at mindfulness. It's hard.
Yeah, tell me about it.
And perseverance definitely faltered when sheer exhaustion hit. It's incredibly hard to push through certain tasks then. And respect. Sometimes it waned under the pressure to win arguments or assert dominance, which is just a very human reaction, especially in competitive settings.
True.
Yet these hurdles, maybe surprisingly, mirrored challenges the monks themselves faced. They dealt with bandits, famine, even temple raids, threats far more severe than a missed deadline.
It definitely puts things in perspective.
Right. A 2024 Smithsonian archive notes Shaolin monks trained and endured through entire dynastic wars. It proves that resilience, at its core, is universal. It gets tested across millennia, no matter the specific external pressure.
That's a powerful parallel. So, facing these very real modern challenges, what was the biggest insight the author took away from those struggles, especially about the nature of the principles themselves?
I think the biggest insight wasn't about achieving perfect adherence, but realizing that Shaolin principles aren't rigid dogma, they're incredibly adaptable. That was key. The author found really innovative ways to integrate these ancient ideas into their modern life. Mindfulness fit their commute through simple breath work. Perseverance fueled late-night study sessions, pushing through mental fatigue without burning out.
Mm-hmm.
And respect, it softened their client emails, ensuring clear, empathetic communication even under pressure. It turned potential conflicts into collaborations.
So flexibility is key.
Exactly. And this resonates widely. That 2025 Pew survey showed 55% of Americans are actively seeking ancient wisdom for modern stress. Yoga and meditation are up 30% since 2020. Shaolin's enduring appeal is in its adaptability. Just like monks adapted to invaders, we can adapt these principles to our deadlines and digital chaos.
Wow. Okay, so this week-long Shaolin experiment, it really wasn't just a stunt. It sounds like it was a genuine revelation. Mindfulness, clearing the mental fog, perseverance, turning obstacles into stepping stones, respect, building bridges, both inside and out, and the data backs it up, like you said, that 2025 wellness boom, a staggering $6 trillion globally. It shows we all crave this balance and meaningful engagement.
Exactly. And connecting this to the bigger picture, Shaolin offers that balance not as some escape from the world, but as a profound empowerment to thrive within it. Whether you're battling work stress, seeking a deeper sense of purpose, or just wanting more clarity, these principles are practical tools. They're not abstract dogma. They're right there for you to pick up and use.
So, what does this all mean for you listening right now? We challenge you, maybe just try them. Start small, one mindful breath, and maybe one gritty push through a small challenge you're facing. And then extend one kind word, both to yourself and to someone else. And as you reflect on that, maybe consider this. In what small, adaptable steps could you integrate these powerful ideas, mindfulness, perseverance, respect, into your own daily routines? How might that fundamentally change your experience of the world? We really encourage you to reflect on that. And remember, for more incredible deep dives into fascinating topics like this, make sure you visit Mind Expansion Daily online. And while you're there, please like and subscribe. Seriously, it helps us immensely. If you found value in this deep dive today, perhaps consider buying us a coffee. The link's in the description. Your engagement truly helps us keep exploring these incredible ideas for you. And we absolutely love hearing from you, so leave a comment below with your thoughts on today's topic. Let us know if you agree, disagree, or have your own experiences. And please tell us where in the world you're listening from. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.